Hey everyone, today we're going to be going over 3 common methods used in songwriting, including my favorite one, which I will say later in this video. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first songwriting method we're going to be using today is writing with a melody. So when you're writing with a melody, it's important to have different tools at your disposal to be able to make this melody come to life. Now what I mean by that is if you do not have an instrument handy nearby, it might be very beneficial to just hum what you're trying to make or sing what you're going to make. If you do have an instrument, I would recommend playing it on your guitar, playing it on your piano, whatever you have handy, a trumpet, whatever it may be, and saving it as a voice memo as you're developing this melody, because you might only be able to come up with maybe like 3 or 4 notes and then you're not sure where to go from there. If you have it saved in your phone, you can record those 4 notes so you don't forget it, and then start to experiment, embellish it, break it down however you like to do it, maybe even change keys or even octave registers for that melody that you're building. And that way you have some reference, point of reference to go back and be like, you know what, I actually liked it in this octave register better. Or you know what, I actually liked it in this key better. I liked it as a major versus a minor better. And if you do that, I promise it's gonna help you a lot when you're writing a melody, because it gives you that freedom to experiment, but also not forget what you came up with. Because I've been guilty of maybe not using my phone and I'm coming with a melody and I come up with something I really like and I'm like, oh no, I can remember it. And then like a minute goes by and I'm like, oh, I'm not even sure what I just played, but I really liked it. I have to find that again. And so if you record voice memos as you're developing your melody, it's very helpful as a point of reference to go back. Now, when you're coming up with a melody, like I said, you could use your voice, you could use an instrument of some sort to help you develop it. But what you can also do is, what I tend to find myself doing is I'll be whistling something. I'll be just like going through my day, going on a walk, getting daily chores done, and I just start like whistling something, even driving, and I realize I like this interval. Then I start adding a sequence of intervals to slowly make this melody. And as it comes to life, I don't want to forget it, so I'll pull out voice memos even when I'm driving and, you know, record something with my voice real quick and then put it away and then try to continuously develop it. And when that inspiration hits you, you need to just run with it if you can, because when inspiration hits, you can write some of the best songs you've ever written in a short amount of time. And there will be other times when you're trying to sit down and write something, but you don't have that inspiration and you won't have a melody come to you. So my biggest tip is when you're writing a melody or trying to write a melody, make sure anytime you get a little bit of inspiration, you run with it and you go through that inspiration as far as you can go. And sometimes you run into a wall, and that's perfectly fine, but save whatever progress you have as a voice memo, as, you know, sheet music, or even, you know, lyrics if you're writing along with lyrics as well to the melody. Moving on to method 2. Method 2 is writing with a harmony. So this is actually my favorite method of writing songs. It's probably maybe one of the more common ones, at least for like singer-songwriters. The reason for that is you can pick up a guitar or piano and you just start writing a chord progression and you have some kind of harmony going on and you're like, you know, I really like this. And as you start to build that progression, that chord progression or that harmony, you can slowly, as you get these, you know, the verse down and the chorus down, all that, you can slowly start adding lyrics to it, even if you don't really have a melody figured out. But the nice thing is, because you do have a harmony, your melody can only go in so many directions because you want to stay within key. And as you do that, your melody is going to slowly kind of write itself. You do have some freedom, you know, depending on what you do with your harmony and, you know, how intense you want the melody to be as well. If it's a very slow melody, very quick melody, you have a lot more freedom to kind of do what you want. But the nice thing about having a harmony to start off your song is you have that reference to go back to that key. You could also change keys if you're not really feeling it, if it's a little too high for your voice, a little too low for your voice, which happens a lot of time to me because I only have so wide of a range. I'll be writing something on my guitar, because that's usually how I write, is on a guitar. Even when I'm writing for other instruments, I kind of start on the guitar because that's my main instrument. And then after I have a harmony figured out, I'll start just singing random stuff over it. It's my favorite thing to do. You could be looking around your room, or like, you know, maybe you're outside and just singing about the trees or the cars driving by or the leaves. And as you do that, you're gonna slowly kind of figure out your melody. Once you get that melody figured out, then you can go back and fix any lyrics that just don't make sense, or maybe not really what you're going for. It's not really the theme or the mood of the song. So that would be method 2, writing with a harmony. And I would recommend, starting off, if you're new to songwriting, starting off with a harmony first to do songwriting. Pick up a guitar, pick up a piano. You can't probably pick it up unless it's a keyboard, but you know what I mean. Start playing the piano, start playing chords that work well together in the same key. And then as you do that, you're gonna slowly be able to start making up that melody for your song. And then after you feel pretty confident in, let's say, an intro and a verse, then you can start maybe making lyrics, like kind of solidifying, like, okay, this is verse 1. Okay, now I'm gonna add a pre-chorus here. I'm gonna change the chords to this. The melody's gonna change a little bit and set it up for the chorus. And after you're done with that, you got an intro, a verse, a pre-chorus, and a chorus. You pretty much have most of your song right there. Then you're probably gonna go back to another verse, and then another pre-chorus, and then a chorus, and then probably a bridge, and then back to the chorus. It's generally how a lot of songs are structured, the form of the song. Not always. It depends if you're writing a pop song versus a rock song versus, hip hop song, but they generally follow that form. And then once you have all those pieces in place, you're gonna have the harmony, which is what you started with, the melody, and then you're gonna have the lyrics. And there's a lot more you can put into it. You can put the rhythm into it, for drums, a bass, whatever other instruments you'd like to add, but that's like the structure of a song. You at least need a harmony, a melody, and lyrics of some sort for it to be a structure of a song. Then you can add whatever you like. Production, that's a whole other thing. So that is method 2, writing with harmony, or starting your song with harmony to write a song. Moving on to method 3. So method 3 is pretty common for people that like to write poems. It's actually how I started writing songs when I was young. Before I ever learned how to play the guitar, I wrote poems and parodies of different songs. So the melody and harmonies were already there, but I would just change the lyrics, which is a really good practice. If there's a song you really like or that's really catchy, just start changing words to the song that maybe it's like themed towards a specific type of sport you like to do, or maybe it's like making fun of a movie or whatever the case may be. And as you do that, you're gonna be writing poems and lyrics for that song. So that's how I got started writing songs, is writing lyrics and parodies. And as I got better at that, eventually I would have all these lines for guitar, or all these lines and lyrics that I'd have already written down, and then I would slowly add harmony to it. So, you'd have lyrics saying, I went down to the barn by the river, or whatever, that your lyric may be. That's just an example. And then you need to have some kind of harmony added to it. And, you might already kind of have sung the lyrics to yourself in like a certain key, and then you start to try to add the harmony to that. But the easiest way I have found is, once you have the lyrics down, is to add the harmony first, at least in my case, and then you can kind of figure out the melody from that harmony. Although it really depends what the best method is for you. For me, I like to start with the harmony, like I mentioned before, method 2. But some people really like to start with method 3. They like to start with the lyrics first, and then slowly just build through the lyrics to the melody and then the harmony, which is a little different than I do it. If I write with the lyrics first, I'm gonna write lyrics, harmony, and then melody. But there's so many different ways to write songs, so there's not necessarily a right or a wrong way. That's why there's different methods. You can do melody, harmony, or lyrics. There's just a lot of different ways to do it. And there might be times you write a song where you start one way and it works really well, but then the next time you try to write a song, you end up writing a completely different way. Honestly, when inspiration hits you, you just gotta follow whatever route that kind of leads you towards and just run with it, because that's gonna be your best chance for success in writing a good song, and a song that you could complete and not just be able to do like one verse for and then hit a wall. The nice thing about songwriting is it's a true expression of your creativity inside of you. You can be very creative with the harmony, really creative with the melody, really creative with your lyrics. You can be almost, like funny and charismatic and add comedy to your music if you really want to, or you can be very real, add political views, add fighting against the establishment, or however you'd like to do it. There's rally songs that are all talking about that. There's songs about breakups. I mean, how many songs have you ever heard about someone falling in love or heartbreak? Those are probably the most common topics in music, and some of the most popular songs in music as well, because everyone can relate to heartbreak at some point in their life, and everyone can relate to love at some point in their life. Those other things a lot of people can relate to as well, kind of what's going on in the world, but that's totally up to you if you want to write those styles, those moods of songs. Anyways, I hope those 3 methods that we went over gave you some ideas of maybe how to start your songwriting process. I'll be making more videos about songwriting in the future, so if you're interested, please do subscribe down below. Add a comment if you have a question of maybe a method I've used, or in what order I've found the most success for maybe styles of music, or how I find inspiration for lyrics. But until next time, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Keep rocking on.